Sometimes I wonder why I can't pull anymore. It's because this is how I dress. Routinely. First of all, it's summer. It's July. It's like 85, 90 degrees out. But this is what I wear to the gym. Sometimes I wonder why.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Chadash, honors to the apostles, Mary Millstone, peace and salutations, Lord, for those that we elect, the Bacharium, house of David, has been preordained, predestined to be delivered in these last times and to be the ruling governing body of the nation, Yashala, and the whole world. I want to go into a quick lesson, what I've seen on TikTok. It's from this chick called May, and she put, okay, I'll read this description. She said, this, or I wear jorts and a tank that I hide under the baggy shirt and just convince myself this is cute by calling it baggy steez or streetwear. Update, I dress normally when I'm at college, and normally is, provocative wear. All right, just like a whore. All right, let's be real. Or far enough away from home or alone in my locked bedroom. But if I'm home with my parents or within a 15-mile radius of home where I might run into my family, I will not dress freely. The point isn't if I look cute to you, it's that sometimes I don't feel feminine in these baggy outfits that I do not always choose to wear due to my parents, and it's not as easy as do what you want because I rely on them to finance my education, and risking that isn't worth it to me. I don't want your parent opinions, right? So you saw the video, okay? She has to, dress appropriately, which her parents are very correct, okay? And I go in the comments, and it's all women, mainly women, saying, for example, girl, fuck their opinion. You're grown. Let me see. One person said, I came to regret letting my parents have so much control over my life. I regret all the time that went by that I wasn't living my life for me, right? And it keeps on going. Y'all never want to call this abuse, but it is. Hey girl, I'm bored. Let's wear what we want since we are 20. Honestly, you just got to start doing you, girl. I hate that fucking word. You know what I'm saying? They will be mad at first, but it's your life. At the end of the day, this is coming from someone with the most conservative, strict parents. A part of adulthood is realizing your value, your opinion more than your parents' approval, monetary compensation. So these women are trying to influence this young woman named May to go against her parents and just wear whatever she wants to wear. Because she is 20, right? But no, she's under her parents' house. She lives with them. So their house, which I put their house, their rules. Someone put, of course, a demon trinity. She's an adult, absolutely not. Okay? And see, this society, it tells women that they can do what they want. All right? The feminism movement, they can do what they want. They can sleep with many guys, gain experience. All that is wicked. Okay? Even certain men telling women to do that. You got to gain experience. Man, that's wicked as hell. And going through these comments, you see a bunch of women influencing this young woman to just do whatever she wants. And then you see the men, because we naturally have a morality. All right, we know that that's off. That's like nah, okay. Especially if you live with your parents. Now there are some exceptions, in the comments regarding the women. Some of them were actually saying like, nah, your parents are right. Especially if you live in their house, okay? Let me see if I can find some, someone put, these comments are not it. I'm sorry, I understand they're worried, but you should be allowed to wear breathable clothing, especially in this heat. Okay, never mind, it was someone agreeing, some woman agreeing with the parents. And then the comments, there was a bunch of other women getting on that woman. I'm like, damn. And then, again, the guys, they were, again, saying, good parents. One guy put W parents, and you just see a bunch of comments of women roasting the guy, going as far as screenshotting pictures in his TikTok, showing like, this is what you look like. You shouldn't be saying nothing. It was just horrible. I'm like, damn. But they're right, okay? you shouldn't be wearing provocative wear, man. And if you do, like she did say in her own house, okay. If you wear in your bedroom, you want to wear something comfortable, okay. Or if you have a boyfriend, you wear that around your boyfriend or your husband. Actually, no such thing as a boyfriend. You guys are having intercourse. That's your husband. That's fine. Okay, but if you're going out the street and it's so normalized now, it's like whatever. You see women walking with booty shorts on. We're just so used and programmed to that now. It's like the new norm. It's been the new norm since like what? I'll go as far as like the 40s. Because if you see pictures in the 40s, they were just starting to wear things like that. Showing more skin, provocative wearing, provocative apparel. Okay, and then like the 60s, 70s, that was it. But the whole point is, you look at the comments of these women. They're just influencing this young woman to just be rebellious. Okay, and rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft. Of course, that's regardless of the Most High. If you have your biological parents on this earth and you live with them, you gotta abide by their rules. Okay, you gotta abide by the rules. You see, otherwise they can kick you out. And she just said, she relies on her parents for college, to finance her college tuition. Okay, so let me see if I can find some more comments. Let me see. This one put Mrs. Verdon. The culture shock I get seeing grown folks still living in their parents' home. Mad they gotta follow their parents' rules. Like, bro, you're under their roof that they pay for. There you go. Yeah, I gotta like that actually. She put, doesn't mean she should have to wear sweats and a t-shirt in summer. But see, they'll use that. Just like the whole abortion thing. The women's excuse, well, what if a woman is raped? But a lot of women that go to these abortion clinics, they not getting raped. They open their legs, all right? Willingly. Consent. You see? And they want to abort a baby because they're murderers. This one, and then continue on. She's this Kendall. Just because she lives with them, their parents, they chose to have a kid, they can have some grace. And then one person put, I'm his daughter, 78. She said some realness too. She said, also doesn't mean she has to stay. Right. Go get a job and be self-sufficient adult. No, you cannot control what goes on in another person's household, whether they're your parents or not. Get a job, get your own place, or follow the rules, right? Because, we live in Babylon. This is 2026. If you want to wear provocative apparel, hey, do your thing, I guess. All right? But if you're under your parents' house and they tell you not to, you got to abide by the rules. And, she want to sneak out, all right? Because she says if she gets caught, that's it. But she wants to sneak out and wear it still. Okay, and again, those comments trying to influence her to be rebellious. These wicked women are just, man, they're mad. Okay, and when I say mad, I mean crazy. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 verse 19. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Right? And you may think, well, how is that considered wickedness? It's rebellion. Okay. Again, provocative apparel is already off, but it's so normalized in society, going on for almost 100 years now. All right, close to it, 80, 70 to 80 years. Okay, that's off by itself. But since we live in this crazy degenerate society, but if you live under your parents' house and they tell you not to wear that, you got to follow the rules. You got to abide under them. Okay, especially if you have a father in the house, man. Because your father knows what's best, most of the time. You got a lot of these weak sent fathers. They just let their daughter do whatever sometimes. Okay, and it's madness, man. But if you have a father, that's your master. And that may sound crazy to the average person hearing this, but that's your master. Okay, until you're given away unto your husband. That's how it was in the ancient days. Okay. But again, these women, in the comments, they're just influencing this young woman to just be rebellious. And hey, it's gonna come a time. It's gonna come a time, man. I can't wait. When all this just when shit hits the fan, EMP attack. Who knows how it might happen? All right, you ready to see what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz? It's semi-closed, so prices are gonna skyrocket, hyperinflate, and everything's gonna be less affordable. And it's gonna be more uncomfortable in society, especially in America. But when it's all just full out chaos and Jacob's trouble at its full height, oh man, you women are gonna be, a lot of y'all gonna be just, deleted. But a lot of y'all gonna try to, you're gonna need a man, the Lord, to protect you. All right, and we're gonna deny a lot of you women. There ain't gonna be no back talk, none of that. You either you get with the program, or you can go somewhere else. Okay? But see, all this, women empowerment, it led to nothing, literally. Like, what did women really do with feminism and women empowerment? Just be whores and sluts. That's it, literally. Okay? And this society, you can't really even blame them, because women are weaker vessels. All right, and they get naturally influenced. Esau, Edom, the elites, they're the ones that started all of this chaos with the destruction of the household, okay, of our women. The LGBT, all this, man. These elites, they did all this. They put it in social media. They programmed you since you were a youth. In TV shows and commercials and billboards. All right, putting subliminal messages, all that. Okay, and movies. But when all hell breaks loose, you women are gonna get in line. A lot of y'all gonna be deleted. Okay, but you're gonna realize that all that woman empowerment was just, that was all facade. That was, again, going back to like the garden. You women, bit the apple. All right, so to speak. It wasn't a real apple, of course. We already know that, according to the scriptures, what that really was. All right, the serpent being Esau, Edom. Okay, before he was called Esau, Edom, the sons of the wicked, and he got to Eve to follow their ways, the ways of the heathen. All right, the ways of the wicked in the nations of men. Okay, that tree of good and evil. All right, but metaphorically speaking, you women bit the apple. All right, you listen to Esau, Edom, and now look at y'all. You got a lot of women crying on social media. They talking about they don't want to work again. They'll rather be a household wife, which is good. That's actually in its natural order. Okay. So I just want to make this quick lesson. I don't want to go too long into it. All right. So hopefully, this was edifying. On to the next one. Shalom.